What is up, guys? Welcome once again to Gaming Gent, another quick guide on Game of Thrones Winter is Coming. We are talking about constructions today, buildings and all that kind of good stuff. First of all, types of buildings. There are three types. You know, the regular inner city buildings, which each one has its own story, which we're not going to talk about today. Then we have farming buildings, which are the quarry, the mine, the farm, and the lumberyard. And then we have utility buildings, which are the tent, the army tent, the mint, and hospitals. Okay, so everything about construction starts, of course, with the bonus and how can you increase or improve your construction speed. How to check it as easy as every time. Just go to details and you'll see under your construction speed, you'll see the commander bonus, the research bonus, lord equipment, talents, everything. The monthly card as well will help you increase this number. Okay, ways to increase it, right there you have it. But the most important, if you have been watching the other guides, get your building speed through the research tower to level 8 or as high as you can. If you can get it to level 8, get a good set. For sets, you have the builder set, which it's right here. Pretty easy. You know, you have the builder set with every piece. As a general advice, also do not get the pickaxe. I mean, do not get it, but on the early stages of the game, you would be better off getting the rookie set weapon, because it's easier to upgrade. And as you can see here, it gives 0.5, 1%, 2%, and it looks way more easy to achieve than to get just this one to level 2, which is going to be a little harder. Okay, so but it depends. It's up to you. Maybe you want to spend on it, and actually construction and research sets are pretty much the only ones worth paying money for. But in case that you're going free to play, you have this option. Okay, so sets are very good. There's also the new set called Rebel's End, which will give you, I believe it's this one, the bone necklace and the black goat talisman, which is pretty much the same. So equipment, research, and also your lords. Some lords will also get you that bonus, and that's about it in that regard. Now, we're not going to talk about the inner city buildings because they all have their own story. But what you need to know for every single building, that there is a bonus involved in getting it to max level, which currently is 25. For example, the rookery will allow you to reduce incoming attacks in sieges by 10% when you get it to level 25 or 25. Let's look at other building. Let's look at the barracks. The barracks will give you, there you go, they will give you total defense, but they will also give it as you improve it. Most of them will just be on 25, but every single building will give you a good amount of things when you get them all the way up. So that's also a good thing. Now, going to the two types that we spoke, utility buildings and farming buildings. We're going to start with the farming buildings. This is pretty self-explanatory, pretty straightforward. Do not build more than one farm, and that is because the way that the game is designed, it is not really real, in the sense that having 0 grain should have your forces at least weakened or even dead, because they don't have anything to eat, right? But they have decided to just ignore this fact and have people run on air, so you don't need to do any grain. Even though, if you can see right there on the picture, I have an hourly upkeep of 318k. That means every single hour I should have that amount consumed, and which it is consumed. But there is no risk, there is no downside to have it on 0. So therefore, do not spend on any more than one farm. Do not spend anything, any research point, any talent point, or anything on grain or farms. That's pretty obvious. As of now, that might change in the future, we don't know, but it hasn't changed until now. Then you will have the other 3 resources, which are the typical ones, which is wood, stone, and iron. And we already told you that you need to hopefully choose only one of them, because that's the one that you're gonna force and that you're gonna get the most out of. You're gonna get research for it, you're gonna get talents for it, and nothing else. And that will leave you, for example, I have a lot of lumberjacks. So wood is always it's something that I can always get, and I can trade for other guys that did the same, for example, with iron or with stone. So it's kind of the most effective way, and it's also a cooperative way when you have specialization over the resources. Also remember, as we already told you, that you have resource cards. So every time that I need to build something, I just use these cards, and that will be more than enough. For example, well, there's many things that I could do here, but I think you get the idea. So that's it. There's not much to do with it. They are also pre-requirements for some of the other buildings, and they do not have this 25 level 25 bonus. But that's because they have a pretty straightforward role. Okay, that leaves us to the next one, which is the one that is really important, which are the utility buildings. The utility buildings, like we said, are 3, and we're going to start with the army tent, which, as you can see, I don't have any. The army tent will allow you to train more troops at a time. That's pretty much what it does. Once you start the game and get to mid game, they're not really important unless you're maybe going away for a couple of days, or if you cannot log in 2 days, you're probably not playing this game. So let's be honest, they're pretty much useless at the beginning, but they will increase its usefulness as the game develops, because they will give you a pretty nice 10% defense to everything. But that's once they are level 25, and that's way above way longer. There's a lot of time that we're gonna have, and a lot of buildings that we're gonna choose over just an army tent. So there's no need to. I used to advise to build one, but right now just don't build any. They're just useless until you even until you get to 25. They're completely useless. So just don't. Then you have the hospitals, which is one of the most important, but I'm going to start, before with the hospital, I'm going to start with the mints, which are really important. They could be tied with hospitals, but mints are important for one sole reason. They have a dual role, which is both beneficial. They give you gold, but they also increase your training speed, which is crucial. Once you get to level 17, 20, 22, 24, and then you start unlocking tier 3 things, it becomes really important to have a good training speed. That's so important. So what I advise is get as many as you can. Like, if you can get them all to mints, get them all to mints. But with one conception, with one paying attention to one thing, as much as possible. What defines possible is your hospice capacity, and that takes us to the hospitals. Hospitals are where wounded soldiers go when they fight and lose. Every time that you attack someone, there is a percentage of your troops that, for example, if he attacks and you lose, 40% of those troops will die. They will die, and they will not come back to you in any way or shape. But 60% of them will go to the hospital if space is available. So hospice capacity is really important. So as you can see, you will start with one inside the city, and you can press here and see the hospital capacity that it gives per level. They also give you a 5% total health when they get to 25, but you need to always be ready to check how many troops you have versus what's your hospital capacity. Now, on the beginning, you're going to have a shitload of hospital capacity, so that's why I advise you to just do mints, because that's what you need right there. But you need to be aware of it. Once you see that you have more troops than capacity, you can do 2 things. The first one is just delete the lower tier troops. Okay, and that can be done just by going here to the level 1s and 2s. You can just delete them or just throw them into a car and hit the car. I don't care, but get rid of them because of morale. We already talked about this. I'm not going to talk about that because it's on another video and this is for construction only. But you need to decrease that, and in my case just have tier 3s. Okay, and the goal of this is to lower your total soldiers, which in my case is 106k. What's my hospital capacity? You can see it in two ways. One is just hitting right here in your main profile, go to details, and you just go down, and it should be right here. Hospital capacity 112k. All right. There's a simpler way to see where it is. It's just press on any hospital, go to the hospital tab, and you'll see the wounded information. It will give you your max capacity. Okay. So every time that you see that it's not enough, either eliminate troops that are not of the tier that you want, or just delete one of the mints by going right here. Just delete it. It's going to take about 20 to 30 minutes, depends on the level of the mint, and just build a hospital in its place. Now, is it better to get a lot of hospitals or just better hospitals? It's better so far for the mid game. It's going to be better to have several. I have 13, 13, 13. I have 4 13s right there, 1 14, and my usual 21, which is for the quests. And that is because if I wanted to get this one to 22, it's only going to give me 2k of hospital capacity, while these ones, which are less expensive, are going to give me 1.5k. So 2 of them will give me 3k for probably 6 to 7 hours, while this one is probably going to take days. So it really depends to you. Your planning ahead is really important in this game, but what you can never be caught is you cannot be caught off guard by having more troops than hospital capacity, because you will lose them. And the other reason, besides morale, that you don't want lower tiers is that lower tiers die first in battle, so they enter this percentage that could go to the hospital, and they will fill the hospital before your better troops, which will be stronger and last longer in battle. So they're absolutely detrimental to you as you go on. So please get rid of them. All right. So one thing I forgot to mention is that mints will also give you a level 25 boost, which is really good, which is a 2% total attack. And remember, every building will give you its own benefits. So you need to have as many mints as you can, and by as you can means that destroy a mint and build a hospital if your hospital capacity isn't enough. Okay, you have 17 slots for these guys, so manage them. Try not to be building and rebuilding every time, not because it's resource heavy, but because you're gonna waste time on it, and that's what you don't want in this game. And for the regular ones, you have 16 slots. So just do one of each and then choose one resource and go all the way with it. So that's it. What else can I tell you? Training speed. The training speed of the mints will be 0.5 per level, but on level 17, it will become 1%, as you can see right here. So it is worth it. Do not spread them too much. If you see that you're going to increase your troops, just try to get as much as you can with the less spending possible. Let me see. I think I have everything covered. Yep, that's it. Short video, nothing else to say. There's a couple tips that I could give you, but this is kind of a basic guide. I wanted you to have a real good perspective of what to do, and that's it. Remember, when you press build, that's the moment that time for your building is calculated. After that, you can remove your sets, change your things, and nothing will happen. It will be the same time. Also good to know. Remember that you can reset talents. Be an asset to yourself and to your ally. I will see you in the next one. Please help me get this content, if you like it, of course. Help me get it spread. People pretty much don't know this channel. I hope more people do. Leave a like, subscribe, and maybe share it with your alliance. That would be great. My English is not that great, but I improve every day for me and for you. Have a great one. I'll see ya.